There are some apologies that arrive too late. Hello, I'm Scott Lloyd, scholar of race, religion, culture, and communication, and author of the book, The God I Was Given, Looking for Faith After Losing My Religion. Years after my childhood friend Roy died from a brain tumor, I wrote him a letter that he would never read. I wrote it after the murder of George Floyd, when I finally found the words that I wished I possessed as a teenager. You see, Roy was black. I am white. We grew up together and went to church together and shared life together. I look back and I realize that something that had never occurred to me when we were young was how love and understanding are not the same thing. You can genuinely care about someone while remaining almost completely unaware of the burdens they carry. In that letter, I confess that Roy came to my white church, stayed in my white home, and ate at my white table. Yet I never entered his world in the same way. I remembered hearing racist jokes and slurs in his presence, and I didn't have the courage to say anything. Years later, I wrote these words: "You were present in my world, but remained largely invisible." Now, as I'm following the story of Nolan Wells, I found myself thinking about my friend Roy again. And I don't know what happened to Nolan, and I really don't have interest in speculating while an investigation continues. His family deserves answers, and the truth matters. But I have been struck by how differently Americans have responded to this tragedy. Many white Americans have understandably said, "Let's wait for the facts." Many black Americans have responded with a deep sense of familiarity and unease. And these aren't necessarily different conclusions. They're different lived experiences. What took me decades to understand is that my friend Roy and I could walk away from the very same room carrying entirely different memories. I remembered friendship, but he may have remembered being the only black kid in a white space. I remembered belonging, but he may have remembered the exhausting work of fitting in. You see, history shapes more than what we know. It shapes what we feel, what we fear, and the questions we ask. And Roy taught me that my experience was not universal. Nolan Wells has reminded me that lesson is still worth learning.